Hey, I'm Blair Best. It's Monday here on The Story, and tonight, Governor Tina Kotek finally signs the transportation funding bill more than a month after it passed the legislature. Why it took her so long, and what Republicans are now doing to try and repeal the tax hikes. Plus, he was a player and coach of the Portland Trailblazers and the Seattle Supersonics. We take a trip to the KGW vault to remember Lenny Wilkens, who passed away at the age of 88. But first, some Portland City councilors are trying to make cuts to the city's homeless camp removal program, and it's an idea that's already proving to be controversial. It's our big story tonight. This week, Portland City Council will decide on the future of homeless camp removals.
We are spending millions and millions of dollars to move people from sidewalk to sidewalk.
Councilor Angelita Murillo is proposing cutting $4.3 million from the Impact Reduction Program's roughly $14 million budget. That's the team responsible for removing homeless camps. A city spokesperson says, given what the program has already spent, this cut would leave them with just under $5 million until the end of the fiscal year in June.
We need to make sure that we're not funneling money into systems that are keeping people perpetually unhoused.
Councilor Murillo wants to put that roughly $4 million towards East Portland's safety improvements and helping people afford rent and food.
For me, this is good governance.
Councilor Mitch Green supports the idea. He says the mayor's budget covers 4,000 campsite removals this fiscal year, but that the city is on track to complete more than 6,000.
It just cuts the excess and additional campsite clearance budgets that we think are wasteful.
I just don't really understand where these councilors are coming from exactly.
Todd Zarnitz chairs the Northwest District Association. He believes camp removals help keep his neighborhood safe.
I think once you give like a camp any sense of permanence, that's when things get wildly out of control.
This is just not well thought out, and it needs to be stopped.
Councilor Dan Ryan says if cuts are made to the city's camp removal program, there will be even more tents on the streets.
It's very bad for economic development. We're a city that needs to focus on economic development, and this would definitely be backpedaling big time.
In a newsletter, Mayor Keith Wilson warned, in part, defunding our citywide impact reduction program mid-year would likely result in service reductions of up to 75% for the remainder of the fiscal year. This would be devastating for every neighborhood. Perhaps most painful of all, we would be forced to lay off up to 100 workers, including those in successful workforce development programs that prioritize hiring workers with lived experience of homelessness or prior incarceration. The mayor adds the amendment would also cut money from the parks, police, and fire bureaus.
There was a lot of misinformation in the mayor's announcement, and if he had called my office, we could have rectified a lot of that. There will still be garbage pickup. It will not cut any workforce development programs for unhoused people. We were pretty meticulous with how we crafted this to not have any unintended consequences.
Some neighbors already pushing back.
When the mayor decided on this program to have, big mass shelters, the idea was like now we have a tool to help get people off the street and get them the help that people need. And now we have the city council fighting them, saying like, no, we don't want to take people off the street. They deserve to be there. And it's absolutely outrageous.
We're really just trying to help those who are most impacted, and people who are housed and unhoused deserve to live a life of dignity.
Okay, in order for this to pass, at least 7 out of the 12 councilors would have to vote in favor. I asked Councilor Murillo today if she has those votes, but she would not say. If it does pass, she says, it could go into effect immediately because it would just be a matter of switching around pots of money, she says. The Northwest District Association is holding an emergency meeting tomorrow night at 7 ahead of this vote during Wednesday morning's council meeting. I'm told that councilors Eric Zimmerman, Olivia Clark, and the mayor's office will be attending that neighborhood meeting. We're also told there will be a rally outside City Hall prior to Wednesday morning's council meeting. More than 70 people have already signed up to testify on this proposal. The majority so far oppose the idea. Okay, now it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think of Councilor Murillo's proposal? Do you support it? Why or why not? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. Okay, people who live in the city of Portland view the city in a certain way. Their perception is shaped by what they see every day. And depending on who you talk to, those different perspectives of the Rose City will vary widely. But how about the city of Portland through the eyes of an artist? Laurel Porter joins us with a special report on people called urban sketchers.
The Urban Sketchers, they're a global community with chapters all over the world. We caught up with artists with the Portland chapter, drawing the city they see, one sketch at a time. On a crisp, bright fall Saturday morning, Director Park awakens. The plaza showcasing the spirit of Portland. For Amy Stewart,
a great day for sketching.
it's all picture perfect. A chance to capture the contours of the city she calls home.
The trees, the people, the cars going by, just sort of the energy of the city. It's sort of a little record of where we are and what we did.
And soon, she's not alone.
Hi, are you here for Urban?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we're the Urban Sketchers group, so we're going to be drawing here.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
One by one, they arrive,
Yeah, I'm one of the urban sketchers. I've been here.
filling
a
the
few
park
years.
for the monthly sketching gathering.
All right, cool.
This is our last trip. We went to OMSI.
Is it time? Should we?
Yeah, drawing the Nordstrom's building, the fountain, and got some people in the foreground, trying to get an interesting angle.
A global community.
The really great thing about it being an international group is that you can find urban sketchers anywhere.
It's in Poland. Yeah, I have some sketches from there.
Started in Seattle in 2007 by journalist and illustrator Gabriel Campanario.
Yeah.
A Portland chapter became part of the picture
Yeah, it's fun.
a few years later.
For me, it's urban sketching is kind of a lot of things.
Rita Sobler was one of the first.
There were 50 of us, and there were artists from all over the world, and I felt instantly like I met my tribe.
Now boasting 500 chapters in 70 countries,
Yeah.
bringing together everyday people.
I'm a tax auditor and I do tax hearings.
Okay.
So this is my chance to do creative things.
Transforming a city park
Oh, wow.
into an open-air studio,
Everybody's welcome. You don't have to sign up, you just show up.
turning sketchers
Since I work in education, I noticed the ball said the teacher's fountain. I felt like that was a good choice for me.
into storytellers,
I thought, what is the essence of this place? It's these balls, these round balls.
each one painting their perspective on Portland one moment in time.
It's lovely and it's not a hellhole. And definitely not a war zone. Look at all these lovely people here.
Yeah, totally.
With Portland grabbing national headlines
I know.
as a city on fire,
Portland is dreamy. Yes, it's just such a fantastic city to be in. So it's so absurd.
Yeah, I like the connection with other people and see what everybody else produces.
the sketchers see a different narrative.
This is definitely not a hellscape. It's not on fire. It's really peaceful.
It's a dynamic city.
Yes.
On this day,
I enjoy just seeing people get dressed up.
Portlanders pass by headed for a protest,
So we have a unicorn and a hippo,
some in the now famous inflatable costumes.
and they're heading, I assume, to where they protest.
They become part of the city's energy. Rita pencils in on her sketch pad.
The result is less important. What's more important is that you're here and you're absorbing what's happening.
That's the goal and the only rule, to draw what you see, not from memory.
Being a beginner is I know that I'm not going to make it look like a photograph.
With all skill levels welcome.
I just say try. Try. Because you're doing it for you. None of us are going to be in the Louvre.
Including photojournalist Kurt Austin and me.
That's you guys.
Maybe we're not in the Louvre, but we did end up etched in some sketch pads.
Kurt is centered focus.
I started with you because you're the central figure. Yeah.
After 2 hours of detailing,
Yeah.
doodling,
That is amazing.
blending,
Yeah, really good.
and brushing,
Oh, this is our throwdown.
it's time
Yeah.
for the Throwdown, where the sketchers share and celebrate each other's work.
Are you kidding me? That's fantastic.
They're amazing. Yeah, they're amazing. I really enjoy them.
They look great. They always look great. It's really fun to see what people put out at the end of the 2 hours. It's amazing what you can create.
Beautiful.
As the artists pack up their pencils and paints,
Whoever wants to go march,
life in
I
Portland
think it's time.
marches on.
Do you have your stamp?
But this moment, This version of the city remains
Beautiful.
frozen in time.
The drawing is just a souvenir of the time you spent out here.
A story worth preserving in a sketch pad.
This is just like the souvenir of just being here and observing. Yeah.
There is so much joy with the Skechers as they drew their city. If you'd like to go, there is a meeting coming up this Saturday, November 15th from 10 to 12 at PSU at the Farmers Market. Blair, rain or shine.
It sounds so fun. Can anyone go, and is there a fee?
You don't have to be an artist. Everyone's welcome. There's no fee, no sign up, no registration. You just sign up. Now, if you miss this Saturday, they meet every third Saturday of the month, and they announce the location on their Facebook page and their web page, Urban Skechers Portland. So pencil it in.
Write that down. Okay, thank you so much,
You're
Laurel.
welcome, Blair.
So what do you think about how the Urban Skechers see the city of Portland? How do you view the city? Let us know. Email the story at kgw.com or call and leave us a voicemail, 503-226-5090. Well, more than a month after passing the state legislature, Governor Tina Kotek finally signed the emergency transportation package into law, which she says will preserve critical maintenance and operations on Oregon's roads, avoiding hundreds of layoffs at ODOT. The governor's long wait to sign the bill, appearing intentional, though her office won't confirm that. We'll explain why in a minute. But first, let's look at how the bill will impact everyday Oregonians. The biggest hit will be at the pump, with the statewide gas tax going up by 6 cents per gallon. Fees at the DMV are going up, registration by $42, title fees up nearly $140, and the EV surcharge up $30. The statewide transit tax, which comes out of your paycheck, is doubling from 0.1% to 0.2%, though that will roll back after 2 years. It also sets up a mandatory pay-per-mile program and timeline for electric and high-efficiency vehicles. The package is estimated to raise $4.3 billion in new funding over the next decade, mostly for road maintenance. But let's get back to the governor's delay in signing the bill. It was meant to thwart a Republican effort to undo the tax hikes through a ballot initiative. In fact, GOP lawmakers just filed their initiative today. It was given the number 302. The idea, give all Oregonians a chance to vote on the tax hikes on the November 2026 ballot. We talked about the effort with Representative Ed Deal of East Salem last month.
The governor called us into an emergency session to pass an emergency tax for an agency supposedly in crisis. And now she's dragging her feet to sign this bill. The only reason to do that is to deny voters their right for an up or down vote on this tax. I'll tell you what, she can delay this all she wants. We're still going to gather the signatures. We're still going to get this on the ballot. And Oregonians will remind Salem who really runs this state.
Now, the political game here boils down to this. Republicans want to give voters the chance to decide on the tax hikes. To do that, they need to gather 78,000 signatures for a ballot initiative. But the signature gathering cannot start until the governor signs the bill. State law gives the governor up to 30 business days after a legislative session to sign it. So Republicans argue that Kotek ran out the clock, so to speak, giving them the least amount of time to gather those signatures to try and undo the tax hikes. Technically, she could have waited until Wednesday this week, but hey, you get the idea. She took more than a month to sign it, and her office has not answered the question directly when we've asked about the delay, only going back to what state law says about those 30 business days that she has to sign it. So, more than 78,000 signatures must be filed with the Oregon Secretary of State by December 30th in order for the Republican initiative to qualify for the November 2026 ballot. GOP leaders in Salem are confident it will happen, but time will tell. It's also worth noting that if the effort even qualifies for the ballot, then additional money for ODOT would be put on pause for another year until the results from that election. An ODOT spokesperson tells us ODOT, cities, and counties would not receive any new transportation funding this January, and that they would need to make drastic cuts to balance their budget, which could revive concerns about ODOT layoffs and road maintenance gaps. Okay, coming up next on the story, the longest government shutdown in U.S. history appears close to ending. The new vote just made in the Senate and where things go from here. That's when the story returns. Okay, let's get to some breaking news tonight. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history appears close to ending. In the past 20 minutes, the Senate approved a bill that funds the government through January. It now has to go to the House. The final vote lined up just like the initial vote last night, with several Senate Democrats breaking with their party. But as Joe Ranieri reports, none of the senators from Oregon or Washington crossed the aisle.
On Sunday night, the Senate voted 60-40 to reopen the government, but the one sticking point, health care, will be voted on at a later date. Senator Ron Wyden said this in a statement: "My red line from the very beginning of this shutdown, engineered by Donald Trump and his Republican allies in the congressional majority, is I am not supporting a bill that fails to lower soaring health care costs for Oregonians." No Washington or Oregon senator voted for it.
I'm focusing forward and saying, look, the American people are getting ripped off. Their healthcare prices are doubling. It's hurting so many millions of families across the country.
Senator Jeff Merkley is also worried about the more uncertainty the bill could bring.
There is nothing in this that prevents the president from canceling programs that are in the spending bills, and that's outrageous. That's stealing the power of the purse. That's unconstitutional.
The shutdown has made air travel uncertain as well, as air traffic reductions impact airports nationwide. Over the weekend, more than 50 flights were canceled at PDX.
It's kind of defeating to show up to the airport and see that your flight's been canceled last minute, and now you gotta go get another hotel, go get another rental car, because the airlines aren't going to provide you any sort of vouchers or anything like that.
Amir Sharif and his mom flew from Salt Lake City last week to visit family, only to have their flight home canceled more than once.
Is this the 4th, maybe?
Yeah,
the 4th, and yeah. So, and our cancellation is like, boom. We've already checked out of our hotel. We took our rental car back.
The deal to end the shutdown, which isn't finalized yet, came together after 8 Democratic senators crossed the aisle, joining Republicans. While Amir and his mom wait for a flight home,
hopefully progress gets made quick and things go back to normal sooner than later, because normal people like us are out here kind of feeling the effects more than anything.
Everyone hopes things reopen before the next couple of weeks, when the busy holiday travel season is in full swing.
Okay, it's worth noting that if the House of Representatives make any changes to the funding bill to reopen the government, it would have to go back to the Senate for a vote on the amended version. We'll be watching. All right, now we want to bring in meteorologist Matt Safino for a look at the weather. Matt.
All right, Blair, thanks very much. Before I get to the forecast, just a quick shout out to the Edmund Fitzgerald, where music and meteorology converged into one of the most famous and well-known pop songs ever that had to do with a shipwreck. It happened today, 50 years ago, on the Great Lakes. The Edmund Fitzgerald, made famous by the song, went down in the Great Lakes. All right, in Portland right now, we are 52 degrees right now. And our weather system washed on out and left us with a good day. And we've got a couple more dry days on the way, too. So we don't have to worry about rain until we get into the latter part of Wednesday. I think it'll be well after sunset when the rain returns on Wednesday. Then it looks wet. Thursday, Friday, the weekend. We had a dry weekend. Yay for the dry weekend we just finished, but unlikely that we're going to make it 2 in a row, because once the rain rolls in on Wednesday night and Thursday, it'll be followed by another stronger system later Saturday and into Sunday to keep the rain going. Hopefully we'll dry it out on Monday. So that's what that is looking like. Okay, 56 was our high in Portland today. It is in Portland right now, still 52, but with the clearing sky, it's very likely that fog will form by morning. So get ready for that for the morning commute. Little fog, but then it turns sunny. We get up to about 55. 7-day forecast, clouds up on Wednesday, but again, dry until late Wednesday night. Rainy Thursday, showers on Friday, increasing rain on Saturday and Sunday. So there we go yet again. But we had a good weekend. And again, shout out to Gordon Lightfoot and the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. I know you don't know the song, Blair, but
I don't know what to say.
Okay.
All right, Matt, thanks so much.
You bet.
Okay, coming up next on the story, a basketball icon in the Pacific Northwest. Lenny Wilkens passed away over the weekend at the age of 88. We look back at his time with both the Blazers and the Seattle Supersonics and bring you some footage from nearly 50 years ago that we found in the KGW vault. That's coming up next when the story returns. Sad news over the weekend as NBA Hall of Famer and former Trailblazers player and coach Lenny Wilkens passed away at the age of 88. Wilkens was a 9-time All-Star as a player and ranks 3rd in all-time wins as a head coach. He spent 2 years in Rip City, joining the Blazers in 1974 as a player coach. He retired as a player in 1975 and stayed with Portland as head coach for 1 more season before heading to Seattle, where he won a title with the Sonics in 1979. His decades-long coaching career ended in 2005, but he still holds the record for the most NBA games coached, nearly 2,500. He also coached the United States to a gold medal in the Atlanta Olympics in 1996. Known for his calm and savvy style, Wilkens is an icon in the Seattle area. A statue was installed outside Climate Pledge Arena back in June, and he raised millions for charity through his foundation. Well, we took a trip to the KGW Vault today and found some footage from 47 years ago when Wilkens returned to the then Memorial Coliseum as head coach of the Sonics. It was April 18th, 1978, Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. The Trailblazers were the reigning NBA champions, winning the title in '77. But Seattle came to town and downed the Blazers in Game 1, 104-95. Here's what Wilkens said to the press post-game.
Well, listen, it's a team game, really. We play team defense, we give help, just as the Trailblazers do. And you saw the 2 best defensive teams in the league go at it tonight. The thing that happens is the team that plays best is usually the team that wins. And don't knock the Portland guards. They're damn good guards. They're the same guards that carried you guys to a championship last year. Well, I think after you get past the first round, you can forget about the home court advantage in the playoffs. I really do. I think the good teams will play well. I think if it's a close enough ball game, then the edge may shift to the home team. But, I think when teams are evenly matched and they get keyed up, anything can happen.
Seattle would go on to win the series against Portland in 6 games. Wilkens led the Sonics past the Denver Nuggets in 7 games in the Western Conference Finals that year. But in the NBA Finals, the Washington Bullets took down Seattle in 7 games. The following year, in 1979, Wilkens and the Sonics got revenge, beating Washington in a rematch of the finals from the year before, bringing Seattle its only NBA championship. Well, that is the end of our show, folks. Thanks so much for watching. Straight Talk is coming your way next. And don't forget, everyone has a story to tell. Have a great Monday night. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 6:30.